Walt was very concerned when he started Cinderella. He had done Cinderella, he'd had it in his mind, he'd wanted to do it for years and years, and it wasn't until after the war that he finally tried. This was the first big feature film after the war was over, and they didn't have a lot of money to make it with, but they had to rely on the experience of the earlier feature films. And so Cinderella had very distinct artwork and simple artwork, which you see here in the pumpkin coach. But Cinderella in the ball gown, to a collector, is a very important piece to have. There aren't many of these in the film because she wasn't in the ball gown during the film, but just a very brief period of time. And it's 16 frames per second. You really have to hunt these days to find Cinderella in the ball gown. The creation of the three little mice over here, Gus, Jacques, and Susie, was Walt's own brainstorm to try and tell the story, to focus the audience's attention on how the little animals could produce the ball gown for Cinderella to go to the ball in. And so these characters are not in the book, the original children's book that the story is based on. It's all pure Walt Disney to make his film so different and so indelible. It's the reason that you remember Cinderella today. Here is an example of another background artist years later after Bambi. His name is Ivan Earl, and Ivan Earl was a background artist for Lady and the Tramp, but then Walt needed someone, and Walt said, I must produce so distinctive a film for Sleeping Beauty. These are the sketches, the concepts for Sleeping Beauty. It must be so different, be so distinctive that when people see it, they will know instantly, then not get it confused with Cinderella or not get it confused with Snow White, but say this has to be Sleeping Beauty. It was his biggest, it was the final masterpiece of masterpieces. Here is Briar Rose. Briar Rose went to the forest to protect her because the evil queen was looking for her, and there was this spell, and she had to get past her 16th birthday in order to be free of the spell, and she was being hidden by the fairy godmothers deep in the forest. Look closely at the trees in the background and notice how they were just like the old tapestries that you see from the medieval times. Even the trees themselves don't look like trees. The forest doesn't really look like a forest. Your whole attention is caught by the figure that is moving and acting in front of these backgrounds.